I'm curious, Kyle. Now, we've got an announcement that you're signed with a Cup team. It's Hendrick Motorsports. So, if we can, like, how would you characterize the last 4 or 5 months for you? Like, what has the experience been like? I'm sure it's a roller coaster, but now you're back. We can kind of reflect for a second, and what has happened in the past 4 or 5 months that will stick with you, and maybe how have you become a better person?
Well, yeah, it's definitely we speak about Jeff. I remember him calling me the next day after it happened, and he's like, get ready, it's going to be a roller coaster, and he's absolutely right. It's been a roller coaster of emotions, of obviously some of the darkest days of my life, and then to kind of slowly progress from that and educate myself and just become a better person, a better father, better husband through it all has been very, very good for me and good for my family and good for the people that are close to me. So and two, just not racing Cup this year and being traveling up and down the road. Like I said, I'm the one driving the motorhome to the racetrack. It's just been stuff that I never thought that I would do, especially at a young age. So it's been fun to share those memories with my 2 young children who Owen just started kindergarten this year, so I've gotten to spend a lot of time with them and just like I said, just become a better person and staying busy racing too. I feel like I've stayed sharp and I think I'll be better than I was before as a race car driver too.
Well, help us become better people. Like what have you, like what specifically have you taken away and learned from it? So like, cause what I hope happens in this situation is that people can also learn from you. When we had Bubba on, we made a moment. We wanted to listen to Bubba and try to learn and educate ourselves. And I feel like everybody needs to continue be on this quest for educating themselves and improving themselves. And so I'm gleaning a lot of what you're saying for my own personal reasons, because I want to be a better person. So what can you tell us? I mean, you've gone through 3 or 4 months. Maybe it was an experience, that you did yourself. Maybe it was something that you can help other people become better versions of themselves.
Yeah, I think what I've learned a lot, obviously, is that words matter, and it's stuff that you learn a lot growing up, but now I've been a good reminder that words matter, and accountability matters, apologizing for your mistakes matters, treating people with respect matters, and two, I've experienced a lot and gone to different places and things, and really, I went to Minneapolis before the George Floyd stuff happened, and you got to do the things with Tony Sane and his foundation, and then after George Floyd, I went back, and that was really eye-opening to me and very impactful, because we walked around where it all happened, and just seeing people, a lot of white people, have taken people and putting their arms around them and holding their hands and hugging. It was very, like I said, eye-opening and impactful. And then kind of driving around where a lot of the city was impacted and damaged and stuff. And I remember asking, why would somebody damage their city like this? And they told me when they haven't felt like they've been accepted by their community, they don't take any ownership in it. So that was a really big moment for me, and realizing kind of the privilege that I've grown up with, and it's not something that I've ever paid attention to. So that was very good, and just it kind of like I said, it opened my eyes to what all is going on in the world.
I'm curious for both of you guys, and I'm always wondering what is, especially in today's cancel culture, what is how do you get people to forgive you? No matter what happens, like how do you get forgiveness, and what do they expect? And I'm curious, what do you think people expect of you on a pathway back to redemption? Is it an apology, because you've done that, you did it the day after? Is it remorse? Is it extensive sensitivity training, which you've done? I'm looking at a timeline here, but like, what do y'all think is the thing that people expect to be able to forgive and move on? And I don't know that people, there's always going to be some people that probably don't, but I'm just wondering if that, how is it in today's society? Do you capture redemption?
I think for me, it's all of what you mentioned, apologizing and doing all of that. But it's also, I think the thing that goes the furthest is just actions and actually doing things rather than, talking about it or trying to advertise what you've been doing. That's been important to me, is just to go out and do all these things, but don't try and promote yourself doing it, because I think people will see through the BS, and so that's been important to me, just to do those actions. And I think there's already been people that I think have forgiven me for sure, but it's definitely going to take a lot longer than just these 6 months or whatever it's been to really get people to forgive me and get to see who I really am. Mm-hmm. So that's important to me, and I know it's going to take a long time, but and I know there's some people that may never ever change their opinion of me, but that's not going to stop me from trying to prove who I really am.
Well, if it transforms you for
Mm-hmm.
better, then that's the upside. If people fail, if people choose to not recognize that, that's their decision.
Yep.
All you can do is what you can do, and if you feel like you have become a better person through this experience, it's really all you can control, right?
Yep. Yeah. And if you can be proud of where you've come from, then I think that's important.
You definitely took accountability right off the jump, and I do think that owning up to mistakes. Everyone is flawed. Everyone has mistakes. Certainly, I've made mine, but you took ownership. I think that was also a big step in it. Do you have any thoughts to any of that?
Well, I think yesterday I was talking to somebody about Kyle coming on the show, and they said, well, I hope he can be a good example for us, for everybody.
Sure.
And I thought, man, that's as simple as it gets. That I think we all really appreciated Kyle being a part of the sport, back when you were racing in the Cup Series, and we've all followed you through your season, your year, on the track and off the track, as you've tried to sort of work your way back. And I think that people want you to succeed. I think people want you to come out of this changed for the better and back on the racetrack and successful as they were everybody had this sort of idea that, man, this Kyle Larson, he's going to be a winner in the Cup Series for a long time. He's going to be around for a couple decades, and people still want that for you, and for themselves, to be able to, as fans of the sport. So I think people want to see you back and want to, the majority of people want to see you as a good example of somebody that can own it and work their way back and like you say, Mike, show us.
Yeah.
Show us how to be better examples or better versions of ourselves.
Right.
So this is all ingrained in you. You think this has changed you for the better, and it's rooted in you for forever.
Yeah, for sure. I've gone through, so much these last 6 months, and I think right off after it happened, I think instantly it changes you. But then as you educate yourself more, it definitely continues to change you, and I don't plan on stopping what I've been doing.
Oh, is that right? You'll continue to do these outreach, community outreach things, even now that you've been back and you've got your ride.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
It's never
right.
Everything that I've been doing, and we're trying to come up with things to do. I've never wanted it to be a check the box thing. I've wanted to be authentic and genuine through it all, and I've always been that person, to be genuine. And I plan on doing, more, and I've done a lot with the Urban Youth Racing School already, and I plan to do more with them and Tony Sauna's foundation. And once they open up from COVID, it's been really hard to do things,
Sure.
And actually be hands-on with stuff. So I think once coronavirus goes away, hopefully someday, y'all have more opportunity to do other things and kind of help out and be part of the solution.
You mentioned the Urban Youth Racing League. You'd been working with them since 2008, or even before that maybe. I'm not sure, but you'd been working with them for a couple of years.
Yeah, and really in the beginning it wasn't much. I would just go to their kind of year-end banquet things and speak to the children there and hand out awards, which was always really fun. To see videos of them running the go-karts and stuff like that. But to be around them was cool. But now I've been back a few different times already and I bought them a couple simulators for their school and got to hang out there and try and coach a little bit on what how to drive faster and. So there's just little things like that I just want to build a friendship with everybody.
Yeah, that's a great program. It's been rooted in Philadelphia. That's been around for a couple decades. I remember going to see them in 2000.
Yeah,
that's right. I remember that.
That's a long time ago.
All right, so during this past few months, what we have seen Kyle do on a racetrack. Mm-hmm. Do you think that people have now gained an actual new appreciation for the talent that he is in a race car? I mean, because it is, listen, he's been dirt racing, his whole life, right? But now he had all the attention on him. And then we get to watch him. I wasn't watching dirt races that much. I knew, he'd go out and win them, Chili Bowl, winning this, winning what. But I didn't actually start watching dirt racing as much as I did just to see his performance, which was blowing my mind. And now I actually have a new appreciation for the talent that he is. Yeah. Maybe you knew it all along. People knew it all along. I didn't. Do you think that people are now on to what Kyle Larson is in the fullness of his talent and his capacity?
I think you are a part of a very small group.
Okay.
Mike. Yeah.
Everybody knew.
I was so. I mean, I don't. I mean, personally, for me, what Kyle's done this year, he's done 84 races, 42 wins.
Yeah, it's stupid numbers.
Doesn't surprise me.
Doesn't surprise you.
Yeah, and I'm not saying this because you're sitting here, but what you've done this year, it's amazing. Hats off, but it has not changed. It has not improved how I feel about Kyle as a driver. I already felt.
Got you. Yeah.
Like this was who he was. You know what I mean? And I think most of the people that know Kyle or especially the people in the dirt industry and most of the people in the cup industry or the NASCAR industry already knew that he was that guy. And he goes out and does that and everybody's like, well, yeah, that's Kyle. He's that good. But I think it's good for people like you, to get a bit of a.
The race where he came out of freaking nowhere. Where were you? You were like oh yeah, it's like
which one? The one that he went in the infield,
right?
Against Shuhart,
in the last lap, made that just sick passes, going high, going low. What was that, Matthew?
North
River
Dakota.
Cities, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, because you ended up tangling with him, going through the infield, working your way back on the last lap.
Yeah, it was. I've had a lot of fun finishes this year and exciting ones, but that one was really exciting. Yeah, because
I guess the one thing I want to ask you is, so you've been wanting to race World Outlaws and you got to do a lot of that. Was it what you thought it would be? Was it everything you hoped it would be? Was racing against those guys as rewarding for you as you thought it would be?
Yeah, I mean it's all been rewarding. I think what's kind of stood out to me this year, because I haven't just followed the World Outlaws.
Mm-hmm.
I ran with Tony's All-Star Series.
That's right.
I've ran USAC stuff. I've ran some dirt late model stuff this year. I've raced around
Pennsylvania
a lot. So I think I've always, and I still want to run the World Outlaws tour someday. Compete for a championship someday. But I think this year was a good reminder. Like I'm the type of dirt racer that doesn't want to follow a series. I've always wanted to be a versatile driver, and I don't think you can really showcase that if you're just running one series. So I've had a lot of fun this year racing all those different series and kind of doing what I want and picking and choosing our schedule, taking a weekend off when we want to.
What drove the schedule?
Big money races.
Big money.
Yeah. We've tried to hit all of the higher paying races. If there was a all-star race that paid more than an outlaw race, we're going to do that. And logistically too, it had to make sense. We're not going to go back and forth across the country and all that. And so yeah, I would say the money kind of drove the schedule, and that's kind of what a true outlaw does. A dirt racer. So no, it's been a lot of fun, and it's been it's been busy, but when you're having success, it makes it all kind of.
You got to run the dirt late model. Was that the first time you'd ever drove one?
Yeah. I raced in Port Royal, I don't know, a couple months ago now.
How was that?
It was awesome. I really have always wanted to race a dirt late model. I feel like their races are really exciting. And those cars are really unique, and I've always wanted to feel what that attitude kind of feels like. And
how is it different?
It's you just feel like you're laying over to the right side a lot. So we went and tested at Gaffney the week leading up to Port Royal, I think, and we broke after like 20 laps. Transmission or something broke, but anyways, in those 20 laps, it was like I don't even really think I felt like what the car was driving like. I was more like, okay, what do I need to do to my seat position and stuff like that, because I was getting wore out just from laying so far over and all that. So after the test, I had to go. We tilted my seat way over, added a bunch of padding to my headrest and stuff like that. And then once we got to Port Royal, I was a lot more comfortable. And we
whose
won.
car was that you drove?
Kevin Rumley. He works at Longhorn Chassis, and Terry Labonte's son actually owns Longhorn. So
what?
Yeah. So
Justin?
Yeah.
What?
So I think that's kind of a cool tie-in to the 5 also. So
I heard that name in a long time.
Yeah. So no, it's been a lot of fun, and Port Royal was a great weekend. And then we went to the Dirt Track World Championship a couple weeks ago, and that's their biggest race of the year, and I was terrible. So it was.
Would you finish second? Is that your terrible?
I had to take my first ever provisional to get into the main event. So we had speed. I just didn't do a good job.
Yeah.
But no, it's been a lot of fun, and those cars are cool, and the fan base is huge in dirt late models. So to tap into that was good for me.
Interesting to me is that the fan bases in like, so there's the dirt guys and then asphalt guys, but inside the dirt guys, there's the late model guys. Yeah. There's fans wise, there's the late model fans, and then the World Outlaw fans, and then the midget fans. And I had no idea that the fan base was so sectional or compartmentalized,
and adamant that
that their driver's better.
Like it almost is personal, right?
Yeah, it is. So that's
fans.
why I put a lot of pressure on myself going into that weekend at Port Royal, because I could read stuff, and like late model fans are like, oh, he's gonna suck, and then the sprint car fans like, he's gonna your late model drivers aren't good and stuff like that. So I was like, I don't like, it wasn't about that for me going to race the late model. It wasn't about like trying to prove that sprint car guys were better by any means, but I just wanted to have fun. But I was putting pressure on myself to make the sprint car community proud, and I was able to do that and win, so that was good. But no, the fan base, I feel like just getting to be around both fan bases now. I have built my fan base a lot, so that's been good, and just getting to sign autographs for thousands of people and stuff every night's been really cool.
So you just watched that video, and I'm sure you enjoyed it. Well, you need to listen to the whole podcast. The Dale Jr. Download is available on all podcast platforms.